Welcome back, everybody. We are in the final throes of a Tuesday evening, Wednesday morning for you.
I've hijacked your show, man. This is hour number 3 of the Kev Baker show. I just let you host it for me, dude.
Yeah,
I'm only joking, Joe.
the Joker link.
Dude, I've got a book deal in my future, according to Tia. I might have to take some time off to pen my memoirs, dude.
Okay, yeah, get on that. Get on that.
Definitely, man.
I got this. I got this article that's right up your alley.
Oh,
Fizz,
love it. It's
our
up
good
and down
friend-
my alley, Joe.
Yeah, our good buddies at fizz.org. Schrodinger's cat with 20 qubits.
Nice.
Says dead or alive, left spinning or right spinning in the quantum world, particles such as the famous analogy of Schrodinger's cat can be all these things at the same time. An international team, including researchers from several leading American universities, together with experts from Forschungszentrum Jülich.
I think you done a good job at that, Joe. I'd seen that word coming. I'm thinking this should be interesting.
Yes, have now succeeded in transforming 20 entangled quantum bits into such a state of superposition. The generation of such atomic Schrodinger cat is regarded as an important step in the development of quantum computers, which could outperform classical computers in solving certain tasks. These results were published in the journal Science last Friday.
Before you go on, I want people to really appreciate that 20 qubits doesn't sound a heck of a lot compared to D-Wave's 5,000, right? But there's different ways to skin Schrodinger's cat. There's different ways to harness the potential of these quantum mechanical quirks in nature that these people are taking advantage of. So 20, don't compare it to the qubits in the D-Wave. It's like apples and oranges. It's different. You can't compare them. So this is quite exciting. The last time I seen something like this, Joe, it was 8 qubits they had got into this state. So yeah, this is cool, man.
That's awesome. It says in 1935, the physicist Erwin Schrodinger put forward the thought experiment with the quantum cat, in which the cat is enclosed in a box together with a radioactive sample, a detector, and a lethal amount of poison. If the radioactive material decays, the detector triggers an alarm and the poison is released. The special feature is that according to the rules of quantum mechanics, unlike everyday experience, it's not clear whether the cat is dead or alive. It would be both at the same time until an experimenter takes a look. A single state would only be obtained starting from the time of this observation. So since the early 1980s, researchers have been able to realize this superposition of quantum states experimentally in the laboratories using various approaches. However, these cat states are extremely sensitive. Even the smallest thermal interactions with the environment cause them to collapse. That was Tommaso Calarco. Listen to that, man. I like that name.
That's important because, we talk about the observer, Joe.
Yes.
And I got my quantum schooling from Mr. Geordie Rose. And he said, yeah, we often talk about the observer, but it's not quite as simple as that. We're talking about any electromagnetic field, anything that comes into contact with that, anything to measure it at all. Doesn't need to be a person, but any field interacts with that, decoherence.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so he says, for this reason, it is only possible to realize significantly fewer quantum bits in Schrodinger's cat states than those that exist independently of each other. Of the latter states, scientists can now control more than 50 in laboratory experiments. However, these quantum bits, or qubits for short, do not display the special characteristics of Schrodinger's cats, in contrast to the 20 qubits that the team of researchers have now created using a programmable quantum simulator, thus establishing a new record that is still valid even if other physical approaches with optical photons, trapped ions, yes, or superconducting quantum circuits, are taken into account.
That's your D-Wave at the bottom there. Superconductors, yeah.
Experts from several of the world's most renowned institutions joined forces to develop the experiment. Wow. So they had Harvard, Berkeley, MIT, and Caltech.
It's amazing, man.
Good Lord.
That's some
That
brain
is some,
power right there, right?
Boy, man, there's like, that is some serious brain power.
Imagine throwing Quantum Kev into that room. Oh, man. That'd be
Oh,
even...
boy, dude. You'd be like throwing a grenade in there.
No, dude, again, it'd be like meeting
Would you
gods.
be wearing a lab coat?
Oh, you'd have to, right? And a monocle.
Man. Would you
a monocle
smoke a pipe?
a monocle, cravat, and a pipe.
Oh, very nice. A monocle, too.
Yeah, exactly,
I
dude.
like it. Yeah, because you got the accent, so it works.
You got to have some kind of quirk about you when you're
See,
in that.
it doesn't work for Americans. Monocles don't work for us.
I don't really think it would work on me either. I don't know if
it would.
Monocle
yes.
or an eye patch. Maybe an eye patch. I see there.
No,
monocle.
maybe for us, we could do the eye patch, but you have to definitely have the monocle. You have to be the more refined person, if you will. You are, after all, a Queens man.
Oh yeah, something like that. I'll kick your ass so hard, Jojo. If we were in like a studio right now, I'd be chasing you around that table so fast.
So I mean, I guess in all practicality, this is not, folks. I mean, it's not like a big time leap, but what this shows is a steady advance in the world of quantum computing, and we see faster and faster this technology is advancing, along with, like you just explained, the whole Skynet type of scenario. That's why I'm saying that whether or not we like it, whether you think it's biblical, whether you think it's because of technology, it doesn't matter. The end is nigh. Only because, like you've said, Kev, the Skynet scenario says, why humans? I mean, there's no use,
What if, I mean, again, I'm taking from the world of fiction here, but
right.
What if the AI finds us so interesting and does look up to us as almost being like it's God because we created it?
Right.
And perhaps it won't be that whole negative way that sometimes we imagine, Joe.
Okay.
And maybe without the use of this neural lace. And tomorrow night, I'm going to be pulling back all of my kind of support on the neural link, neural lace stuff. And it'll become obvious why tomorrow with the show I've got planned. But no, we need to, if we could find that way, and I know it's 50-50, right?
I know what you're saying.
And at the same time, right, we're going to have to train it with data sets. We're going to have to train it, and this is going to be an artificial general intelligence. So it's basically going to be watching us all of the time. It's going to be learning from us. I'm sorry to say, but if you look around the world, maybe humans aren't the best thing for it to be taking an example from. And if you open it up to everything on the internet, not only is most of what you see on the internet a lie anyway, but there's some dark, dark, dark stuff on there.
Oh,
and that's going to go into it.
Here's the problem, right?
Yeah, that's going to go into it, dude.
Here's the problem. Who decides what goes into it and what's right?
Does it matter at that point, though, Joe? Because this one we're talking about the sentient. It talks about being fully autonomous.
Right.
It works on the fly. It comes up with its own coding. It's one of these ones, right? It's one of those super ones that we talk about. I mean, it doesn't matter what initial data sets you train it on, because at some point it's going to be free. It's going to be in the wild. It's going to kind of want
to go off on its own anyway.
It's going to be in the wild. If not, you're basically keeping it as a slave.
But that's the only way it's going to be able, because I'm telling you, you go down any other road, what ends up happening is...
What happens when the AI realizes it's a slave, though? When it becomes
a problem.
Yeah, when it becomes that self-aware that it says no.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's inevitable, dude. Any road you go down, it's not a good ending. That's what I'm saying. I cannot find a road where it ends well. I mean, there is one. And that's where everybody sings Kumbaya. That doesn't happen. It just doesn't. That's like hitting the lottery. If humanity hits the lottery, that's the equivalent of humanity hitting the lottery right there, dude. Is that we sing Kumbaya with AI. It solves all our problems. And God and Jesus don't have to intervene. And we go on and live life in the golden age.
The only way you could do that is regulate it to hell, to the point where you can only have machine learning networks.
And and then who regulates it?
Exactly.
It just becomes a never-ending quagmire of bunk. Ugh.
Whoever gets this, like, use a sentient system as an example, right? Whatever country gets that up and running first, you do realize it's game over at that point.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it's a race right
now.
Even
my lord and ruler, Vladimir Putin, has said that much openly.
China right now, I think, is the undisputed leader in the race right now.
Yeah.
I think so. They have just gone full speed ahead. And really, if you look at it, they've taken resources. See, we have a lot of resources, but it goes to like I think it was $476 billion. $476 billion went to servicing the national debt so far this fiscal year. So that's just paying interest on the national debt, almost $500 billion. That's ridiculous. So we really don't have the resources because we give the military $750 billion. We don't have the resources to put into this stuff like China does. China can go ahead and just dump limitless resources into it. Plus, they don't have they don't exactly have an appropriations process, I guess you could say, because it's kind of not set up that way. So, I mean, it's just they have a better ability to fast track that stuff than we do, at least right now. That's not to say that we couldn't.
The one we're talking about, this algorithm to rule them all, it could be out there already, you know. It could be one of those ones that it has the ability to auto ML, auto machine learn.
Oh yeah, I swear that's why Buffdale, Utah was created. I know it has nothing to do with, oh yes, we're recording everything. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's what they're doing, but what's it recording for?
Exactly, it's food. It's a food source. Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
That's the best way to think of it.
What is it that they're doing? That is it right there, dude. That's Skynet.
And, you know, this whole putting your information onto the blockchain that's been talked about with Facebook and everything else, their cryptocurrency, that blockchain thing, you go back and listen to all the shows that Anthony Patch and I done, and Anthony Patch gets the credit. You know, I was just his willing apprentice, and at times the level of knowledge he had would amaze me, not because I was taking it at face value, because I'd go and check it and realize he was spot on, you know, and yeah, you come to find out that this auto ML and all the rest of it, I mean, these things could already be out there, Joe.
Totally.
Yep.
But I mean, think about that. Everybody's focused
I was
on,
talking about Sorry, I forgot where I was going there, but the blockchain, yeah. Anthony was the one who really kind of taught me and the audience about how we talk about the food for the AI, but it likes its food served in a certain way. And
right.
When it's got things on the blockchain, if you think about it that way, that's how it digests it easiest. That's how it finds patterns the easiest way. And I know people think blockchain, cryptocurrency, it's, you know, you can save anything on the blockchain. It's just data. And that's the way the AI likes to consume its food, Joe. Yes.
Yes, indeedy.
Just another link on the blockchain.
Just another link in the blockchain.
Tomorrow night I'm going to be talking error code 666.
Oh, boy.
Epstein in the machine.
Oh, my.
Yeah, so it's going to get into a load of this stuff as well as that moment that
But I mean,
everyone.
you now see that this kind of stuff is, like I said, well on its way, if not already in place. And it's just a matter of time, Kev, before that kind of thing, it doesn't have a happy ending. We'll put it that way. And I'm telling you, I hate to be the bearer of fear, and it's not really anything to fear.
No,
It's
you're
gonna
right,
happen.
Joe. You're right, because if it does,
It's
if
gonna
it does
happen,
get to that stage,
regardless.
doesn't matter what anyone thinks about there. Can it become sentient? Can it become self-aware?
No, and to be
If that,
quite honest with you,
but
I'm
that's
tired.
if that singularity happens, Joe,
Yeah.
that's when we need to be really worried. Because
Yeah. But I mean, it's like, you know what, dude? I'm tired, and everybody else is too. And it's just gonna end up being like, whatever. We're all so worn out. It's like, what's
I'll still
next?
be here, Joe. I'll still
You
be
know?
here, man. I've survived Ellen in 2012.
Oh, that's right. We did, didn't
Yeah,
we? We survived the Mayan calendar.
dude, we're the OGs of like many a
Oh yeah.
crisis. Yeah, dude.
Oh, dude, remember the Gulf oil spill?
Exactly. There's another
Uh,
one. Yep. We bore witness to.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep. So many things, you know. Yep.
There has been a lot. Yeah. Good
When
grief.
you think about some of the stuff that, Boston bombings, we covered that in depth as well. Loads of stuff.
Remember,
Dude.
not even that, but then you had the
Sikh Fight Club.
SH.
SH. Oh yes, indeed. Sikh Fight Club. Remember that?
Oh, the Sikh Fight Club.
One of our favorite stories we covered.
My gracious,
Grown
yes,
men.
that was indeed one of my favorite.
Grown men in turbans, sword fighting.
Sword fighting, and
Sword
like for
fighting.
real too.
At a tempo.
That's a crazy thing, man. I can't believe it. Some of those traditions are just like nutso, man.
So
like rolling cheese down
Joe,
a hill.
Sometimes you think the world can't get any more backcrap crazy. We've lived through some backcrap crazy stuff, dude.
I'm telling you, man, surviving the cheese roll.
Oh, that's just hilarious. The cheese rolling. I'm actually, if my lungs could take it, I think I would go down to England and participate.
Let me ask you something. How the hell could your lungs not take it? You're not doing anything.
You're just falling.
Flop. You flop.
Fall in style.
Flop and get down there and grab the cheese, dude.
Big time. Well, big shout out to DJ Bison for that one. He was the one that brought that to the live stream table one night. That was hilarious.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter what this crazy hologram's going to throw at us, Joe. Doesn't matter how that really information comes into our field and we decode it. We'll deal with it, man. We'll deal with it. We're like info ninjas.
But like I said, interestingly enough, the Bible describes the coming, the tribulation is basically the time up to the time Christ comes back. So it's unlike any time that ever was on the planet. It's going to be that bad, so they say. Now, if you use AI and you say, well, does it have to do with that? If you look at it that way, oh man, that's rough, dude. Because it has the potential to really wreak havoc. It says it's going to be so bad that if Christ didn't intervene, no flesh would survive. So if no flesh would survive, how does that happen? Well, if there's a AI that has somehow gotten a little pissed off at humanity, well, that's a good way to do it.
A few explosions,
I'm
like
just
we've
saying,
seen.
Like that whole Skynet thing. It just, could you imagine if it just went off that way because, like, I don't know, almost like we would be, what would you say? Not dehumanized to it, or
would it tell us if it
desensitized to it because of what we saw in Terminator? Oh, we've seen this already. Come on, it can't be true.
I would imagine, I'd imagine going full fiction here, but I would imagine we're probably, we're not the only game in the universe. That's what I think anyway. So anyone that has kind of been given the same set of tools, the same planet as we're on, and they've progressed roughly the same way as us, and they've gained like computers and gone down that road. You know, I'd imagine there's other AIs out there, Joe. And what happens when we get that AI of our own? And unbeknown to us, it gets contacted by the other AIs that are out there.
Oh, could you imagine?
I know it sounds pure sci-fi, but why
No,
not?
but that's pretty interesting because you think about it, this thing's always going to be learning. And remember, we're not just talking about input from this world, but when you talk quantum computing, you're talking about resources from other dimensions,
Yep.
right? So
How do you what wait, well how if you're in another dimension, right?
yeah,
And you're not able to physically invade this one, but you want to take it over. Wouldn't you say that plays into what we're watching right now, Joe? We always ask why we're not geo engineering anymore, but literally terraforming. We
right.
wonder what's provided the spark, the kind of impetus
The
to build the
motivation, if
machines
you
we've
will.
got. You know, you look at the connections between, again, go to the D wave and the overlay of the quantum chip in Solomon's Temple. You know, where's that information coming from? And I get it. I'm not saying that the people that created quantum chips are evil, but where did that
Right.
thought come from?
No, exactly. Where did
If
that
something
knowledge
wanted
come from?
to, if something wanted to invade from another dimension, you know, wouldn't this be the perfect way to do it? We build
Yeah,
out the
think about
system for it. Y-
Let me ask you this too. Okay, so and then why deploy all these satellites and then why throw all this nano metal particulate up into the atmosphere for decades prior to get that mixture just right and then to radiate it at just the right frequency?
And
I'm telling you, there's more to that than
yeah,
meets the eye.
and we're going to be getting bathed in frequencies that aren't good for us.
Exactly.
This place is no longer set up for us. We were tuned to
No,
it, and it was
it's
tuned to
being
us.
set up for whatever's coming.
Yeah, even the Schumann resonance, even that off the charts sometimes, right? Well, we're meant to be at that little part on the dial of the frequencies, the same as the Schumann. That's where you can hear us best, like a radio station. That's where we're the clearest signal, you know, when we're in tune like that.
Right, but also look at the amount of like beach, you know how you have the whales beaching themselves
Yeah,
and
yeah.
these mass kill-offs of fish, and then you know the birds that just fall out of the sky because they lose their bearing and
The bees.
the bees are dying. Yeah, all this stuff. It's crazy. Okay, I get it. Roundup, I get it. You know, glyphosate, but there's more to it than that.
I think
I got
so.
an article here, Kev. Forest animal populations have plummeted by half
Wow,
since
dude.
1870. It says populations, this is Scottman.com. Population of animals that live in the world's forests have declined by more than half in the past 50 years. Forest wildlife is vital for maintaining healthy woodlands and jungles, which act as a major carbon store and help curb climate change. That is because creatures such as primates and large birds perform an important role in the regeneration of forests through dispersing tree seeds, eating plants, and other activities helping woodlands thrive and absorb carbon. But a global assessment by WWF and the Zoological Society of London, 455 populations of 268 species of wildlife that live only in forests reveals they have declined by 53% on average since 1970. Oh man. So
That's not good.
that is not, I mean, I get it,
They say the
deforestation
Amazon,
and
yeah, the
all that kind of
Amazon and
stuff, but there's
things.
more to it.
There's talk about the Amazon and things as well lately. That's
Right,
at tipping
right.
point, stuff like that. We haven't been good stewards of this planet. I'm
No.
not saying we have to adopt this shared guilt that we've killed the planet. I'm not saying that, folks. We don't need to go down that road. But at the same time, we can't be naive.
No.
And at the same time, we've got a evil elite that, like we say, appear to be turning the planet into something not home for us. And there's a race for them to upload themselves to the AI that we're speculating may have invaded.
Right.
Just saying.
And here's the thing. The kicker is they don't even know that they're doing it.
No,
because of
that falls into my scenario very specifically because I don't blame everyone.
No, I don't either.
No, no, absolutely not. These scientists that are on the cutting edge of AI and quantum computing, CERN and things like that, I would imagine 99% of them have that scientific passion in their hearts. They've got no idea what it is they may be doing. They're just striving to make new things, like Geordie Rose says. You know, find out new scientific theories, equations. They think they're doing it from a good place, but what if they're not?
That's a good question. We're out of time. Let's ponder that, and we'll talk about it again on Thursday.